Hey friends, good morning. Thought I'd give you a little catch me up, if you will, on what I got done yesterday. It was a long day, boy. I think I started about 6:30 in the morning, finished up at about 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock last night or something like that, and then got a bite to eat and then went to sleep. I'm getting a late start this morning, so I'm having to do breakfast on the go. Strawberry Pop-Tarts. That's almost as good as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with Ruffles potato chips in it. Just a weird thing. Or peanut butter and banana sandwich. I love peanut butter. You could put peanut butter on cardboard and I'd probably eat it. But anyway, so I'm going to eat my Pop-Tart. So let me show you what I got done, I'm going to be doing today. First off, I got this cantilever built, landing up here. And then I got the stairs built, braced up. And we'll go upstairs and got the rest of the decking down up here. And then I did get my posts notched for the mezzanine. I don't know if I mentioned it. Yeah, I got my posts notched. They're just leaning up there. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but in this area right here is just going to be, it's going to be a sink and a parts washer and toolboxes, right? And it's going to stretch out about 12 feet. So I thought, why not put another mezzanine right here? So, because all the lifts are going to go, kind of down the rest of the wall over there. So I won't have to worry about height in this area here. So, what I'm going to do today is, and then this is going to be a second story room as well. So what I'm going to try to get done today is this 24-foot wall, get it built, and this 12-foot wall. There'll be a door opening somewhere. I've got to decide where to put it. And then get the 12 by 12 walls up here for this mezzanine. It's going to be another long day today, I think. So now we're going to lay out the stud placement in our door opening for the top and bottom plates on the stud wall. Again, disclaimer, I am not a professional carpenter. Do what I do at your own risk. But anyway, so it's to some this may be second nature, to others it may not be. So anyway, I may do it a little different than you do it. As long as the finished results are the same, that's what matters. So I'm going to tilt the camera down here, guys, and then we'll start laying it out. Let's see if I can almost get the whole thing in there. All right, so trusty speed square. Now what I'd like to do is stand the boards on end like this. This way I can mark my stud placement the entire way. And yes, there's going to be a door opening here, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the first thing I like to do, one of the most important, is that on this particular wall it's a 16 on center. So I'm going to go ahead and mark off all my studs. Now when I make the first mark, you want to hold back 3/4 of an inch so that all of your sheet goods will be placed properly, right? So let me back this off just a hair, and let's butt that against the wall. All right, so we're 16 on center, so for that side of the board you're going to start at 16, but you're going to back off 3/4 of an inch, and that's going to be that edge of your first stud. All right, the other thing I like to do is make a little mark to tell me which side I need to be on, and then we're going to continue this all the way down the board. Then we can take our trusty speed square and go down and mark both top and bottom plates at the same time. Now, I gotta figure out how to do this camera thing on here. So now I gotta figure out where I want my door. So I'm gonna use a 3.0 door, which is 36 inches. And that'll make it a bit easier to get in here moving stuff and out. Could run a 28-inch door or even smaller, but yeah, the 3.0 door is gonna be the thing. So you need to allow 1.5 inches for the rough opening, so you got some room to square that door up. So the door is 36 inches, so we need a 37.5-inch opening here. Now I just have to decide exactly where I want to place it. So we have to keep in mind that this is not a load-bearing wall, right? And what I have on this wall, it is actually boxed in right there. See that? To accept the stud on this side. So, you know, typically if you're on a corner or something like that, and you're doing either a 3-stud corner, you can do 2-stud corners, which they call them California corners, I believe. There's several ways you can do corners. But this is just going to be a single 2x4. So typically, if you're starting that rough opening, you're going to have to allow for that corner, right? So I believe I almost want to center it. I'm going to set the door opening so it doesn't intrude on you when you're coming in onto the landing. The door is going to swing in this way. So I think if I center it would probably be my best bet. And you know that's going to work perfect. So what I'm going to do, just so I don't have to waste a bunch of studs, I think what I'm going to do, since I have a stud placement right here in this area, I have a stud right here, and then I think I'm going to go here. Yeah, so that gives enough room. As you come in, come up the stairs, you can grab the doorknob and it'll make that turn. So this is going to be the edge of my, excuse me, the edge of my rough opening. So we're going to measure from there and go 37.5 inches. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing or not, sorry. So that's the edge of my rough opening. Yep, 37.5 inches. Then we also need to mark 1.5 inches for our extra stud. And that'll be the rough opening. All right. This camera doesn't go down quite far enough. Now, the purpose of putting the 16 inches is on your top plates. You still, when you put in your cripples, which are the uprights that are on top of the header for the board that goes across for your rough opening, you still have to maintain that 16-inch on-center pattern all the way across. So I'm looking at one. I'm going to treat this one as my base plate. So I'm going to be removing some of these marks because this is eventually going to be cut out. And this top plate, I need to mark it so that I can then add my cripples to the top and I'll still maintain my 16 on center. So we're going to take my 1.5 inches here. Perfect. And my rough opening should be yep, 37.5 inches. All right. Now, you also, this is, we need to double this up because again, it's not a load-bearing wall, so we're not going to have like an 8-inch header or 12-inch header above it. we're going to lay two 2x4s on their side. Well, you've got to support those two 2x4s somehow, okay? So these first two studs that I marked, this one and this one over here, that are going to form our rough opening, these are referred to as jack studs, okay? So what I'm going to do is mark a J there. That jack stud's going to go there and there. And what that means is that particular stud is going to be a bit shorter so that it can support the 2x4s that are over the top. Now on the outside of that, you still have to have a stud going up, so that's going to become what's called a king stud. So we're going to measure over another 1.5 inches. All right. And that is going to be our king stud that goes all the way to the top. And I'm going to mark that with a K and a K. That's my king stud. Okay, so what we're left with, remember I'd mentioned this is going to serve as my top plate. This is my base plate. This is not going to get a stud. I'm just going to mark this one out because that's going to be part of my opening. And there's also not going to be a stud there. That is not part of my opening. All right? But this area right here will receive the cripples. So I need to mark those cripples at my 16 on center. And I've already made the first mark, but just to remind me, I'm going to put that mark right there at my 1.5 inches. That mark right there at my 1.5 inches. I'm just going to mark the top. And then I'm going to put a C there to remind me that that is for a cripple. All right. Now, basically, let me get the camera and I'll show you guys what that looks like. It's hard. Okay, so this is what that looks like. So there's obviously going to be a stud on this end to attach to the wall. There's for my king stud. There's for my jack stud, which will be shorter, and that will be the height of the rough opening, which is 80 inches. But then you have to subtract the 1.5 inches for your base plate. Okay, so I'll explain that when we get to that part of building the rest of the opening. King stud, jack stud. That's a mark for your cripple. Maintaining the 16 on center. Mark for your cripple. That went away because that's your base plate. Then you have another jack stud. You have another king stud. And then going along the way are all our marks for each individual stud. Hope that makes sense. All right. So now I'm going to stretch this out. I like to lay out. I've seen people build walls different ways. A lot of times they'll build that structure and then they'll wait till they tilt the wall up and put in the jack studs and then put the headers in when the wall's already up. I don't like doing it that way. I like to lay out the entire wall on the floor, lay all the pieces, have all the pieces cut, and then start nailing it together from the inside out, meaning base plate to all the base studs, then to the king studs, then to the jack studs, and work my way that way. So we'll get to that in a second. Okay, we've basically got the wall laid out at this point. Now I want to go through and explain exactly what you do here with that jack stud. So I'll explain again what the jack stud is. It's the part that's cut short to support what would be the header. We're not making a full header. Again, it's not a load-bearing wall, but that's what supports and defines the bottom, the height of that jack stud is what defines the height of your rough opening. We know 2x4 is 1.5 inches thick, and then where the door rough opening is 80 inch. But we need to, again, allow a little bit of room to be able to plumb that door. The other thing that we have to do is account for flooring. So it's kind of a standard to allow for 2.5 inches in your roof opening at the bottom to one, and allow for the flooring, and again, room to level things off. So basically, we know we've got to have 2.5 inches. We know that our base plate is 1.5 inches thick, right? So basically, we've got to have 80 inches, subtract the 1.5 inches, add back in the 2.5, and what you get is 81 inches. So we know that our jack studs need to be 81 inches, all right? So I'm gonna go down, cut the jack studs, cut the header, and then we'll measure for the cripples. Now that we have everything laid out, it's literally just a jigsaw puzzle, and we nail it together. I like to start from the inside out. So I'll be nailing that header together, and then I'll go in from the sides and then work my way out to the base plate, and then finally we get through to the top plate here. Now, since I am lifting this wall by myself, we got to think ahead. So I put right there and right there, just so the wall doesn't slide off of the edge. And then I also came over here and put a block here so the wall won't fall over. I need to make sure to have my nail gun and my level in my hands so I can pop a nail in it, since I'm raising this 14-foot wall by myself. There we go. And now, let's turn. Now I just need to repeat it for the next walls. So there'll be an 8-foot wall there. I'll tie into that one. Then we'll get everything level squared, which is going to be pulled off this other corner here. This 12-foot wall, and I'm going to do a door opening just like on that one. It's 1 o'clock on Sunday. Thought I'd give you a little midday update on what we've got done so far. Well, we can walk upstairs. We got the walls in. Now I need, since it's not load bearing, then I'm going to run 2x6s on 24-inch centers. Here's our door frame here, 3/0 door. And then we got all these walls up. Now, you'll notice there's a slope on that one. So this wall here is an 8-foot wall. There I was at about 6 feet and change. I don't remember exactly what it was. So that's why you see an angle to the wall. Wasn't concerned about following the angle. I'm out of breath. Of the trusses. It's kind of irrelevant. But anyway, so that'll be tied in there, and then I need to put in all of my ceiling joists. And we'll be good to go. I'm wore out. 30 hours work in 2 days. But I started this weekend, well, after working, I think I worked about 40-something hours at the shop. And I started this weekend with a goal in mind. I wanted to get the new mezzanine built. I wanted to get it decked. I wanted to get the walls in for the office and this extra room up here for the library and a couple other things. And I'm happy to say, just got it done. Let's have a look. All right. So what'll happen over here? Toolboxes, parts washer. I've got a wall cabinet, so toolboxes, so that'll go there. Parts washer, sink, that sort of thing in here. And that's solid and good to go. So then the other thing I want to do is get these stairs built. So we already talked about the stairs yesterday, so we got that done. So we'll go, oh God. I don't know if that's my knees creaking or the stairs. All right, so our 3/0 walk-in door. This area here is 12 by 24. And then we get to walk in here. And we have this room. All right. So, mission accomplished for this weekend. Now I go take a long bath, get a bite to eat, and then hop in the truck, drive 6 hours back home, and then head to Winder, Georgia to go work on motorcycles. So, gotta take my carpenter's hat off and put my machinist hat on. So I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. And again, I want to thank you all so much for your encouraging words and everything. It just fills my heart. It means so much. And there have been quite a few people that had mentioned, that have sent me some emails. Hey man, let me know. I want to come down and help. And basically, and I can't thank you, all you guys. Fills my heart. I can't thank you guys enough for that. And, a lot of this, I love doing this kind of stuff. I love building. I love building things. But I'm not going to lie, I'm exhausted. We're almost there. There's the goal. So just got to get it done. And, we got customer bikes to get out too. So get all that done. But basically, there was a mad rush for me to get this done as quick as I could. Actually, the whole thing is a mad rush to get it done. But I need to get it at the point so we can get electrical started. And plumbing's already done, septic's done. Rough end plumbing, septic's hooked up, water from the well, all that type of stuff. So I got to get in here and then, get the electrical done. Then I can get everything inspected and all that kind of stuff. So it was a bit of a mad dash to get all that done. Yeah, perspective. And there we go. All right, now, will say is, like I said, the building's 60 by 100, so it's 6,000 square feet on the floor. By doing these mezzanines and doing all that, I added 1,800 square feet to the building. 1,800. So we went from 6 to 7,800, and going up is a lot cheaper than building out. So that's the cheapest 1,800 square feet I could have gotten, to be honest. So everyone, have a great week. Thanks a lot. Take care.